In the stillness of the night, Madam Chidera barged into the girls' dormitory, wielding a rod. "Who left the dorms open this morning?" she yelled at the terrified girls, who quickly stood up, scared of the punishment she was to administer. "My cat is missing, and until you girls find it, no one is sleeping," she declared with finality. This was the daily torment the girls endured. Madam Chidera made their stay at school and in the dormitory a nightmare. Chiamanda hated Madam Chidera with passion, and so did the other students. They were at a loss for how to make her leave them alone, especially since the school authorities and their parents never believed their complaint. Madam Chidera displayed perfect behavior whenever parents visited. One night, after prep, when all the girls had returned to the dormitory, Chiamanda addressed them. "Madam Chidera has been a thorn in our side. She bullies us, and no one ever believes it when we tell them. We have to take matters into our own hands. We will end it all tonight." Madam Chidera, dressed in her signature red heels, red fitting dress, and a red lipstick, climbed the stairs, ready to torment her students once more. Upon her entry, the dormitory, she found it empty. She smiled, thinking, "These girls always give me a reason to smile." As she continued, she walked to her room, but standing before her were all the girls. "Welcome, Madam Chidera. We've been waiting for you," Chiamanda said with a malicious smile that unsettled Chidera. Ignoring her uneasiness, Chidera barked, "Why are you in front of my room? Kneel down now," she yelled. The girls, who once cowered at her command, began to laugh. Chiamanda walked up to her, one step at a time, and said, "You know, I came to this prestigious school to learn and have fun. But you, Madam Chidera, have made our lives a living hell, and I can't stand it." Without warning, Chiamanda pushed Chidera from the third floor. She smiled as she watched her fall to her death. Chidera's scream was like music to the girls' ears. They had longed to hear her in pain. The sound of ambulance was heard in the morning. The girls had vowed to keep everything a secret, and they did. The police investigation led nowhere. It was ruled an accident. The investigation was soon closed, and the girls returned to school as if nothing had happened. Well, until one evening, after every student had gone to bed, Blessing, a quiet student who always kept to herself, was woken from her deep sleep by a strange feeling. She slightly opened her eyes and saw a woman in a red dress and red heels standing at the entrance of the dormitory, her back to them. The sight scared Blessing back to sleep. She didn't know much about the spiritual, but she was certain Madam Chidera had returned for revenge. The next morning, Blessing gathered her friends in the dormitory and told them Madam Chidera was here last night. They all burst out laughing. Chiamanda, the leader of the pack, tapped Blessing on the shoulder, saying, "You were dreaming, girl." They left Blessing alone. She, on the other hand, was contemplating whether what she saw was real or just her imagination. That night during prep, while the students were studying in silence, the sound of heels could be heard approaching the classes. The clicking of heels was Madame Chidera's signature sound. Fear enveloped their hearts. Chiamanda, upon hearing the sound, ran to the entrance of the class, listening in the dark as the click continued. When the heels stepped into the light, Chiamanda almost collapsed. It was Madame Chidera's legs. Even in death, she was still haunting them. The girls scattered, screaming and running for their lives. The name Miss Koi Koi began to spread in every class and dormitory. The sound of her heels made the Koi Koi sound, hence the name Miss Koi Koi. She began hunting them in the classrooms, in the dormitories, canteens, and even the washroom. It got so bad that students couldn't be alone. During a morning meeting in the dorm, Blessing said, "We have to tell the truth, or she will continue to haunt us for the rest of our lives." Despite their fears, no one wanted to go to jail. One evening, as Chiamanda was walking alone back to her dormitory, she felt a heavy presence behind her. She turned and was met with a sinister smile. She fell from the third floor out of fear, meeting the same fate she had dealt to her teacher. From then on, Miss Koi Koi roamed from school to school, scaring and punishing disobedient children.